What's good, YouTube? Jay Lee here. Just finished a meal, feeling all right, and I got a video request. So I did put up a video for video requests. Again, reminding people, if you want a video, you want me to talk about something, just let me know. Shout me out in the comments. I can't read this whole comment for some reason, because YouTube keeps deleting a lot of guys' comments on my videos. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if you cursed or something in here. But it deleted this comment, and ironically, it allowed that comment. The America is finished with. It allowed that comment, but whatever you said, Amir, it wouldn't put your comment up. But with that said, let's talk about your comment. So you said, "Man, very generous of you of doing this. Thank you. I'd appreciate it if you could share some of your thoughts on how to get over the rage that follows getting red pill aware after having been through." Yeah, see, I don't know what you said, man. I can't fully answer this, but I can talk a little bit about how to get over red pill rage. I can say a couple things on that, but I guess you're just gonna have to email me. I should put my email. I think if you go to my about section, you can find my email, but if not, you can just email me. It might be a different email in my about section. Just email me at jlmstudios1, the number 1, at gmail.com. jlmstudios, plural, 1 at gmail.com. That's jlmstudios1 at gmail.com. Just email me your full question here. If I don't touch on all of it and it's important, just hit me up and maybe I'll try to make a second video on this. But all right, so my thoughts on how to get over the rage that follows getting red pill aware, essentially red pill rage, right? So there's a few things that have helped me, and there's a few things that I would say, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but I don't think I've ever actually made a full video on this. There's a few things that I would say. First of all, and I'm talking a lot of, from subjective experience, things that have helped me and things that I think could help others. But because I'm talking about subjective experience, I gotta sort of talk about my mindset and how I think of things, because this does help me, because I think some guys really have a hard time with this, really have a hard time with this, particularly guys who really had been blue pill aware before, have been very, very blue pill before they had these terrible experiences with women, and then they woke up and realized, oh, this is how women really are. Particularly guys like that, and I'm one of those guys, because I was very blue pilled. I really wanted to get married when I was, I think from the time I was like, I was dreaming about it when I was a kid. I was dreaming about it when I was like 14, 15. I always wanted love, and I was never good looking enough, never cool enough, never bad boy enough, never popular enough, never had enough money. It was always just out of my reach. It was this elusive thing. I could never get a girlfriend. The girls just didn't want me, right? Occasionally I would get, girls flirting with me for whatever reason, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but never could find love. And that's part of how I got red pilled. So I was very, very blue pilled, wanting love, wanting a wife, wanting a family. I had that dream, the white picket fence, the whole nine, right? There's this lie out there that guys only want sex. Guys just want to use it. That's a lie from the devil, really. That's a lie from feminism. Men want love. All men want love. Even the bastard gigolo players, fuck boys, bad boys, they want love too. They're just probably too toxic to admit it to themselves, or too toxic to, open themselves up to it. But everybody wants love, and everybody needs love, and that's a problem in life, because people want love. But yet we realize that a woman's love is conditional. We realize all these things about female nature. We realize all this bad, crappy behavior that women do, and it's messed up. It's messed up. And we look at it and we're just like, man, what am I going to do? And part of that process of learning that is you get angry. You're like, this sucks, man. What's wrong with these bitches? Why can't they just be cool? Why can't they just understand us? Why can't they just love us? Why can't they just treat us right? And that's something that I myself have struggled with a lot, particularly, as I said, because I wanted to get married. I wanted to have a family, and it didn't work out. And for me, I had opportunities to marry certain girls. I had opportunities where I was dating certain girls and things like that, and it didn't work out in the shittiest of ways. And I got my heart broken, my heart shattered in the shittiest of ways. So believe me, I've been there and back. I'm not just some incel on the internet who's whining that he can't get laid, which is what these women want to talk, which is how they want to talk about us, right? How they want, oh, you red pill guys, you're just incels, blah, 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 blah. Because they want to shame us. They want to dismiss what we're saying because they don't like the truths that we're speaking. But anyway, so how do you get over the red pill rage? First of all, really helps to have a good sense of self-esteem. Really helps to have a good sense of who you are. Really helps to have a good foundation in loving yourself, in the sense that, you know your worth. Because a lot of what happens in this life is we tend to sell ourselves, whether it's for a paycheck, whether it's for friendships, whether it's to look cool for fame, or we sell ourselves. We lose who we are. We leave who we are behind, and we put on a fake persona, or we put on a front so that we can be accepted, right? You gotta build self-esteem. Building self-esteem is one of the most important things for humans, really, but I would say particularly for men, because this world doesn't love us as men. We're not loved in this world. So you need a strong sense of self-esteem. That's one of the first things I would say, right? And however you do that, by working out or practicing meditation or self-affirmations. Some people, they just can't feel love for themselves because they've never felt it from anywhere else. And that's hard. And I know what that's like too. I've been through that myself. One of the best things that helped me conquer that was to have really self-affirmations, but in a visualistic way, right? To really tell myself and then believe it. I'm the shit. I'm awesome. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm worth it. I'm worthy. Tell yourself those kind of things. I'm confident. I'm strong. I can talk to people. I can make eye contact. I can hold myself up high. I can stick my chest out. I can always keep my head up. Talk to yourself like that, right? First of all. The other thing is love yourself, right? Self-esteem is about loving yourself and really caring about you. A lot of people, they don't even care about themselves, right? A lot of people out here are so busy trying to please other people that they really have overlooked the fact that they don't care about themselves. I'm not saying be selfish. I'm not saying be arrogant, being a selfish bastard. That's not what I'm saying. Really just love yourself. And if something's not worth it, don't put yourself out there. This is one thing that women do very well, and too well, right? Because they're not even human. They're so selfish or solipsistic. They're arrogant narcissists, right? Most of them, right? But one thing they do very well is if something is not in their best interest, or if they don't want something, let me phrase it this way: if that thing doesn't benefit them in a big way, they don't even want to have anything to do with it, right? So I'm not saying be exactly like that, because women are very arrogant, and they're arrogant to the point of narcissism, and it's solipsistic, right? So I'm not saying be exactly like that, but be a little more like that, right? A little more like that, because men, we're taught to give ourselves away. We're taught to sacrifice for other people. We're taught to, be chivalrous, and that's cuck shit. That's simp shit. That is teaching you how to stay in the matrix. What you want to do is you want to leave that behind and really have more self-esteem, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Actually, that's not what I want to say. That's not what I want to say. Sorry. So when I was in high school, I remember I played basketball, and I didn't shoot enough. And I didn't realize I didn't shoot enough. And I had a friend who was better than me, but he wasn't really better than me. He just shot more than I did. So he made more shots than I did, so it made him better than me. And he told me once, he said, after a game, we were walking, and he said, be more selfish. Just be more selfish. And this was like in 9th grade. And I was like, damn, that's pretty darn good. That's good wisdom. And I didn't even know it, but I was so unselfish because I was used to trying to please other people. Be a little more selfish. And ironically, women will be more attracted to you. But that's really beside the point, because we're in a red pill community. We're talking about red pill things. And you probably don't want women to be attracted to you because you're selfish. That's not. But anyway, That's a different story. I'm just saying, care for yourself more, care for yourself more. So that's one thing. All right. The other thing is have perspective, right? Have perspective. So because I was saying, my experience from transitioning from blue pill to red pill is subjective, I have to put this in there because this is what I believe about life. And I believe, I think it's true, from what I've experienced and from my learning. You have to have perspective in the sense that, how do I put this? A lot of what people are doing is not moral. A lot of what people are doing out here is not righteous, right? So understand that, because they might be successful in their immorality. They might be successful in their unrighteousness, but understand that at its core, it's not what's right. It's not how things should be. It's not the right thing. And I think that at some point in my life, I realized that somehow I got a foundation in what's righteous. And I used to watch these wholesome movies when I was a kid. I read the Bible when I was a kid. I read, these moral books when I was a kid. And I think that's really what was my moral foundation. So because I have a moral foundation, and it's not just an idealistic foundation, because I know people can be like that. I've seen people, be moral and righteous, and you can be like that. And there are people who are like that, who practice that. But most people out here are not moral and righteous. Most people out here are not living the right kind of life. Right? They're living a selfish life. They're living a sinful life. Okay. And yes, this is a biblical perspective, but I believe it's true from my learning. I believe it's true from my life, from my reflections. So when I say have perspective, understand that probably a large reason why you're struggling is because you have somewhat of a moral foundation yourself, right? A lot of the reason why you feel like, man, why are these women like that? What's wrong with their nature? Because you're probably a decent guy. You have a moral foundation where I don't want to, I don't want to treat somebody bad. I want to do unto others as I would have them do unto me. I want to have this foundation of being righteous to other people, and they should be righteous to me. But what we see with women is not righteous. What they're doing is solipsistic, it's selfish. And you could argue, and many people do argue that, oh, well, that's their nature. They're doing it so they can get a high value man. They're doing it so the species can survive in the right way. And all the guys who are, unwanted, undesirable, they can just get pushed to the side and their seed won't go on. That's bullshit. That's an animalistic way to look at life. We're not a struggling species. We're a thriving species to the point that we're actually really in reality, we're an invasive species at this point. Some would say we're a parasitic species. Anyway, we're not a dying off species, and I would say there is some truth to that women, it is part of their nature to want the best man, but pay attention to how they use that hypergamy, or how they use that need to pass on the highest value seed and be with the highest value man. Pay attention to it, because it's usually not the guy who's really good or the guy who really deserves it 9 times out of 10, until after they have the kid from the bad boy, until they hit the wall and it's time to settle down. Then they change. Then all of a sudden they're nuns. Then all of a sudden, they find God. They have this, oh, I'm a born again virgin. It's after their epiphany stage, right? And that's when it's time to settle down. When I want a good man, tired of fuckboys, I'm tired of games. What does that mean? It means for the last 10 years you've been having sex with bad boys. You've been immoral, so you don't deserve a good man, truthfully. Right? But that's precisely my point. Look at what they're doing. They're not out here just waiting for, they want you to think that they always want you to think they're oppressed victims. They're out here just waiting for the good guy, but there's no good guys. Where's all the good guys at? Bullshit. No, the guys that they want to fuck are the bad boys, because they're bad boys, because that's part of their nature. So understand that that's immoral, and understand that that's not how things should be. So when I say have perspective, That's a way for you to understand that, hey, wait a minute, I'm right in this. The reason why I'm angry, the reason why I have this red pill rage is because I'm right. I'm actually right. These women are not moral or good or righteous. They shouldn't be having kids. They don't deserve high value men. They're being immoral. They're out here sleeping around. They're out here, chasing Chad, chasing Dick. They got Tinder, they got OnlyFans, they got Pornhub. They're selling themselves, right? Have that perspective, And what I think from a biblical perspective is we're in the end times. That's what I believe. We're in the end times. All this stuff that's going on is culminating to the end times. God doesn't like righteousness, God doesn't like unrighteousness. God doesn't like immorality. You don't believe me? Go read the Bible. What does it say in Genesis? When, with Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Go online, look up Sodom and Gomorrah. What were they doing? They're doing exactly what we're doing now. Sodomizing, orgies, homosexuality, right? This is what they were doing in Sodom and Gomorrah. And God said, nope. And he burned it off the face of the earth. He fired down fire and brimstone from heaven. I mean, you don't have to believe in the Bible, but the principle really stands. And actually, you could look at history. Why did Rome fall? Because it was prevalent with homosexuality, right? Many scholars believe that a lot of the reason why Rome fell was because it was people stopped being civic. People stopped being civil and civic, right? They no longer felt they had a civic duty. They were too busy having orgies. And so they were conquered. People could come and conquer them because they lost strength. And where does strength come from? Strength comes from being righteous. Strength comes from doing the right thing. God honors that. But when we become corrupt, look at the music that's out here, man. You ever listen to some of this new music in the last 10 years? It's absolutely horrible. I mean, it's been horrible since the 90s, right? It's been really bad. Before that, if you really pay attention to culture, before the 90s, music was all about love. It was all about togetherness and acceptance and good times and good vibrations. It wasn't just all about taking drugs. Yes, there was hippie music. There was drug music in the 70s and 80s and right? Look at how music has just been horribly become immoral since the 90s. I mean, since the 90s, what's it about? Pimping women, having loose, unprotected sex, right? Getting drunk, doing drugs. And in the 90s, they didn't even talk about doing hard drugs in the 90s. In the 90s, all they talked about was, smoking weed and drinking 40s. That's all they talked about. But they were also talking about drive-bys, gang activity, right? Prostitution, and they were glorifying it. Okay, and that's what people buy. How many of these Dr. Dre's are out there who got just filthy rich off of pimping this disgusting, immoral product, right? And that's my generation. There's a lot of rap music that I listen to and like that promotes that shit, and I like it because it sounds good. Well, truth be told, I don't really like a lot of rap that really just straight up talks about drugs. And look at what Eminem did. His impact on this whole generation. He's gonna be judged for that, man. Eminem is gonna go under judgment for that. How many millions of kids did he influence to take pills? I mean, it's not. He's got that song, Purple Pills. I mean, come on, man. And he himself admits he sold his soul. He himself admits that he's possessed by a demon. Go listen to his lyrics in certain songs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the reason why I say this is because this world is corrupt. This world is damaged. This world is immoral. So have that perspective. And so understand that it's not just you. It's not just you. It's not like, oh man, there's an influence out there that is influencing people to do really, really negative stuff. So first thing I would say, have a perspective, have have a good grasp of self-esteem, right? Really learn to love yourself. Have self-esteem and learn to love yourself. That's the first thing I would say. Figure out how to do that. Really practice self-esteem and self-love and forgiving yourself. And a lot of what helped me was reading the Bible, going to God and things like that, which can be very healing. And you can read up on that stuff. The second thing is have perspective, right? Have perspective. Understand that this world is corrupt. Understand that these people out here are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? They're not loving each other. They're not really caring about family anymore. All they want to do is hook up, have sex, do drugs, party, all the negative things. And understand that that's not right. That's not the way things should be. Okay, those are the first two. Number one, have self-love and self-esteem. Number two is have perspective that you're not just alone in this, that people around you are really doing the wrong thing. All right, the third thing is fill up your time with something. Find a hobby. Figure something out that you like and kind of focus on that. Because sitting around thinking about, how lonely you are, or how much you want a girlfriend, or how bad these women are, or just sitting around, watching red pill videos, or like filling your head with this. And even though there's a lot of truth to red pill videos, et cetera, if you spend too much time with it, it can get you depressed. You don't want to be depressed, right? You want to learn how to be happy, because that's one of the best things you can do for yourself, is to figure out how to do happy activities. Make yourself happy by doing things like hobbies, working out, bettering yourself somehow. Helping other people is a great one, right? Helping other people makes you feel great, right? If you can stand it. Some people don't really have anyone to help. Like, go spend your money on sandwiches and go down, passing out sandwiches downtown to the homeless people. I'm telling you, it'll make you feel like $1 million. You'll feel great because it makes them happy. And seeing that you're genuinely helping somebody by giving them a sandwich or giving them, some water and a meal, however you do it. Bro, like, you feel so good. You feel like you're on top of the world doing stuff like that. All right, so figure out a hobby. That's the third thing, because you don't want to spend too much time being angry. You don't want to spend too much time thinking about your problems or thinking about being lonely, or how much time, how much time do you spend saying, I want to, oh gosh, I just want a girlfriend. It sucks that, the women, sitting around. That's what my mom used to always call stinking thinking, right? You're stinking thinking, right? So figure out a hobby, right? That's the third thing. And see if I could think of the fourth thing. There was one more that I thought of. It wasn't a full one, but the number 4 thing is, I would say, number 4 is kind of two things. Number 1 is, don't let them win. Don't let it consume you, right? Figure out a way to, if all else fails, because I've been through, I've been to hell and back. Women have done me so dirty, and I've talked about it a little bit, but women have done me so dirty. I mean, in the worst ways. Like, I could tell you stories for days. In the worst ways, women have done me so dirty. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it take you down. That's the 4th thing I would say. Don't let them win, right? And so there's two kind of things to this. Number 1 is, you have to keep living. You just have to keep living, right? You have to keep living. And the second thing is, practice not being angry. Like, practice not letting it get to you. Figure out a way, because when you're angry and when you have this rage and you're just so angry, it can consume you. But honestly, what's going on when that happens is they're winning. They're winning, and which is funny, because they're the ones who did you wrong. They're the ones who are doing this, this world wrong. So why are they winning, right? They're winning because of our reaction to what they're doing. So when you react in an angry way with the red pill rage, you are letting them win, right? And believe me, I've been in places in my life where I was suicidal. I've been so lonely, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've That's how I think, is like, oh, I'm so lonely. I'll never get a wife. These women are messed up. How am I going to find a decent woman? How am I going to find somebody? I'll probably never have kids, and like all these things that I wanted, when I was blue pilled, right? So this is what we go through when we transition to being red pilled, right? I've been there. I've been to that dark place where you can just feel suicidal, or you can feel like you want to do something drastic or something like that. You have to understand, in that moment, they're winning, right? The people who are doing the immoral stuff, people who are, the type of people that we talk about, these women or whatever, these toxic people out here, they're winning when we feel that way. So figure out a way to overcome. And like I said, it has to do with your self-esteem, has to do with keeping perspective, has to do with having a hobby. Like, all those things matter in this equation for this, for this fourth thing. You just have to keep living. I love this saying. In Good Will Hunting, which is a great movie, by the way, with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Good Will Hunting. Okay. There's this part where he's seeing this counselor, Robin Williams. Great scene, monumental scene. And he's seeing this counselor, and he's talking to the counselor, and he's telling the counselor about how his dad would make him pick ways of how his dad would beat him, because his dad was abusive. And he said, okay, you got a choice. You have the belt, you've got, the switch or whatever from I'm probably butchering this, but you can go watch it on YouTube. It's great. So his dad gives him a choice of how he can beat him. Like literally abuse him, how he can whip him. He says, you got the belt, I can beat you with the belt, or I can beat you with the stick from the tree, or I got a wrench, I could beat you with the wrench. And he lets him choose how to do it. And Matt Damon's like, I chose the wrench. And Robin Williams was like, why? Why'd you choose the wrench? And Matt Damon was like, 'cause fuck him, that's why. I love that, 'cause fuck him, that's why. And I don't mean to say that we need to be like gluttons for punishment, or we're looking for someone to hurt us, or we're looking for the pain. But there's got to be a point where you're just like, fuck it, this isn't going to take me down. You're not going to win. Like this world's not going to win. So this world is really against us as men. This world is against us, this matrix. It wants to suck our blood. It wants us to be miserable. It wants us to be low energy. It wants us to have no happiness, And so I don't use that example to say that we should look for pain, but have his spirit where he's saying, fuck it, fuck him, fuck that. Fuck this world, fuck these women, fuck this matrix, fuck all this shit that I'm going through. But if you're angry, you see they're winning, because they want you to be angry. They want you to be sad. They want you to be miserable. That makes them happy. Or it makes the devil happy, or who's ever behind all this malevolence, who's ever behind all this immorality and this sinning and this unrighteousness, who's ever there, it makes them happy when we're miserable, when we're angry, when we feel suicidal, when we're lonely, and when we're broken and down and out. Like, just say fuck it, fuck him, fuck that. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna play basketball, and I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna cut the grass, and I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna work on my car, and I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna give food to the homeless, and I'm gonna be happy. Happiness a lot of times is a choice. It really is. Happiness a lot of times is a choice, but we let our environment dictate our happiness as opposed to us, right? So that's the fourth thing I would say. Fuck them, be happy, right? Don't let them win. Figure out a way to win. Figure out a way to win the psychological game, the emotional game, the spiritual game, because this is spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare, what we're going through. They want to damage our spirit. They want to damage our will to go on, right? Go put on a Bob Dylan record. Go to the library and read a bunch of books. Check out a bunch of great books. Go read Calvin and Hobbes. Go for a walk in the forest. Look at trees. Go swimming in a lake. Go fishing. Go camping. Whatever you got to do. Make yourself happy, because that matters, right? Sitting around moping, being, angry, red pill, like. That's not winning, That's you being a victim to your environment. That's them winning. Okay, so you can't get a girlfriend. So you can't find love. So this world's messed up. Okay, well, I'm gonna whistle anyways. I'm gonna be happy anyways. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna beat the day. Beat the day. Every day we got a choice to be happy, to play our game, right? To play the way we want to play this game, or we can get sucked into their game. We can get sucked into them wanting us to be unhappy. Make the choice for you. Play your game, right? Anyway, I hope I answered your question. If there's any more that I kind of missed, you had maybe somewhat of a different point or something, just email me, because for some reason that's not, or you can maybe try to write a comment again and maybe make it a little more clear. But anyway, man, I hope that helped. Appreciate your video request. Hope you guys keep them coming. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.